join the Fantastic Four at the height of the Atlantean invasion. As Richards yells for the others to buy him more time, the Thing heads to the elevators, ripping the doors off and grabbing the cables to pull up the invading forces. Crystal sees Ben get shot and Reed asks her to hold the troops off while she swears not to fail him. Turning back to the weapon he's creating, he hears a voice behind him offer help and he turns to see Charles. Asking if the X-Men have come to fight, he's told that they're too far away but claims to have found Magneto's weakness. Turning to the X-Men, we see them chained up by the Mole Man as he is prepared to kill them. Beast though strains himself and breaks free of the chains binding him. Twisting around, he quickly frees Cyclops' visor and is instructed to free the others as he unleashes an optic blast. Destroying the pillar the villain is on, Iceman quickly makes his way towards the falling enemy, getting behind him. Before he can freeze him though, the Mole Man turns and blasts the hero with his staff. Turning the weapon upward, he shoots the ceiling, causing an avalanche of debris to fall. Yelling for the others to get behind him, Cyclops blasts at the falling debris when the others see that the whole ceiling is coming down. Urging the others to get out, Cyclops stays behind to buy them time, though Jean demands to know how he'll get out. We then turn to Angel as he regains consciousness from his attack by Pixie. Turning, he sees the other X-Men. Scott yells at Jean that they must leave to stop the Mole Man, though she doesn't want to sacrifice his life, when Warren swoops down and grabs him, allowing him to keep blasting while the others follow. We then change to the Baxter building where Reed has finished the weapon but not tested it. Xavier assures Mr. Fantastic that it will work, and explains that Magneto's suit is what's bolstering his powers when Ben enters the room asking if the weapon will work. Ignoring the question, Reed urges them to the Fantastic car. We then turn to the invading mutant as he learns of the failed assault on the Fantastic Four. Angered at the failure, he decides to attack them himself when Namor spots the heroes approaching rapidly, and Magneto goes to stop the car before it crashes into them. However, they land when a soldier spots Reed's weapon, and seeing the opportunity, Namor retakes control of his army as Crystal summons a lightning storm to distract the mutant. Stretching above his enemy, Mr. Fantastic fires the weapon, turning the magnetic energy back at Magneto, imprisoning him as Charles watches in his astral form. He then watches the Submariner's next move and sees him call off the invasion as Reed and Sue are also reunited. Back with the X-Men, they find themselves blocked off from the Mole Man when Angel tells the others that Xavier sent him to find them for the battle above ground. Cyclops wonders how Angel found them though, but before he can answer, Beast asks Drake about defending the professor from Tobias. Bobby replies that he's realized that Charles didn't plan on faking his death. Jean then reassures him that it was only so that he could focus on the Xenox invasion when Hank sees a beam of sunlight, though the path is blocked. Stepping past him, Cyclops blasts a hole, creating an opening. Emerging onto the surface, they discover themselves at the site of the Fantastic Four's first battle with the Mole Man and see the remains of Monster Island. Returning to Havoc, he's just escaped from the mob when he spots Xavier and asks about the fight with Magneto, and is told that he was soundly defeated and won't be a problem for a while. He then guides Alex to avoid more confrontation, though he is still angered by the anti-mutant hysteria he faced. Sympathetic, Xavier explains that it's not just being a mutant, but simple other factors can make others hate, as humans are prone to do. Guiding him back to the Promises base, he finds that Lorna has been revived, asking if 10 years have passed already. Lucy denies it though, stating that they found a way to release them early when one of the others finds that Tobias is dead. Checking his readings, they ask if Lucy noticed anything unusual before reviving him, but she didn't. Charles offers his sympathies, though Tad Carter replies that they've only known Tobias for no more than a few weeks. Lorna asks if they'll go back into the pods, but Tad believes that Tobias's methods don't work and that they'll stay. Charles offers some help but is denied as they believe they must go their own ways for a while. Xavier decides to return to his body then, while instructing Havoc to take Lorna home. Lucy, though, is talking to Tobias, saying he should have been more considerate of the people he took in as he gambled on the future. Leaving, she believes that people are working to change their prejudices and that her powers might be able to push people in the right direction. Before she leaves, though, she hints at how irresistible her suggestions can be as she looks upon Tobias one last time. We then turn to Illinois as the professor reaches his body. Terry sees that the Fantastic Four has stopped Namor, but is worried about when he'll attack again when Charles alleviates her fears that it will happen anytime soon, and she asks if he had anything to do with their victory. Replying that he helped where he could, his job is finished for the moment. The next day, Ashley asks Charles if he's really leaving, which he doesn't deny, as it's time for him to return to his school. Offering to go with him, Terry is turned down and wonders if she'll ever see him again. He says she will, but it won't be for a few years when it's to remove Ashley's mental block and let her power develop naturally. Disappointed, she bids him goodbye when he tells her that he knows her feelings for him and he feels the same towards her, but needs to see his dream come to realization first. A week then passes as the rest of the X-Men finally return home. Beast notes that Avia was glad to return to the Savage Lands when Warren jokes of building a second headquarters in the jungle region. Hank then notices that the inside of the mansion is quiet when Warren checks the danger room, though Hank is skeptical anyone's there. Inside, though, is a surprise birthday party for Hank with everyone present. Having forgotten it was his birthday, Hank blows out the candles when Scott asks how it feels to be on the other side. Wondering what he means, Warren reminds him that he's the first to graduate from being a teenager by turning 20, though he and Scott aren't far behind. Agreeing with him, he's saddened, though, as they are usually referred to as the strangest teens of all time, that it no longer applies when Jean pipes up that he shouldn't worry about it as they aren't all clearly X-Men either.